between various ET races, our government, and the good side for the stargates at this time. Why stargates? Because stargates are what, one, allow beings from other dimensions to come here, and it also allows you to get off the planet, to stop this sort of repetitive, cycle of rebirth and ascend. Okay, so the very key to the stargates is also ascension gates. And those gates are very contested. And of course, those beings who are using you for food, okay, they're using you for resources, they're using you for slaves, they want you to stay where you are. And the Anunnaki who came in sort of late to the game and decided to sort of cut off your DNA at a certain point in development, what they found is that humans at that seeding were starting to develop too quickly. You started to emerge into who you really are very, very quickly, and so they cut it off, and then they reverted you back to basically taking orders. It's interesting in terms of the bloodline. Let me say this. The Illuminati bloodline has a side to it which has to do with a side that doesn't have what I call the rebel gene. And that side was a whole group of you who basically took orders more easily than others. In other words, you're a little more passive. There's another side to that, of which I belong to, obviously, which has the rebel gene, which rebels and doesn't like to be told what to do. And it doesn't mean that the other side, if the people that have come from Illuminati families and have that bloodline, you can still rebel. It's just that you need to understand that your genetics doesn't support it quite as well. So it's once you realize what's going on there, then you can make a conscious decision to be who you really want to be and to change what's going on here on the planet. Okay, well, the Illuminati have obviously the advantage there in some ways, and that has to do with cloning, the building of robots at this time, genetic re-engineering. They are heavily at work in creating humanity 2.0, sort of races of super soldiers, some of whom look like little old grandmothers or children. Obviously, children are being used far and wide by them. This is all a plan unfolding. In other words, they have a very clear agenda. Never be deceived by people that tell you that they don't really know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Let me just say this, that before I got into Camelot, I studied the occult. And this is why I know how the Illuminati think, because I basically wanted to know how their minds worked. So I studied it in detail. And I really understand their philosophy. Now, some of the information in the Illuminati philosophy is neither good nor bad, it's how it's used. And at the base of their philosophy is that each and every one of us are what they call magicians, okay? And that means that you are basically creators of reality. So they've got a whole jargon that they go into to describe what it is you are capable of, who you are, etc., who they are as well. And what happens is they don't want you to understand that this is your birthright. So it's very, very fascinating how they go about operating and what they do and why they do what they do. And one of the things that goes along with the Illuminati philosophy and has to do with basically, it's kind of like everything is a magical act. Everything has precedent and has ritual and has a formula for getting a result. And this is a very reptilian, sort of brain type of approach to reality. And this is how you can tell a particular Illuminati is heavily influenced by the reptilians. This will be the dark purple kind of thing that you'll see, the aura or whatever. And the Vatican, needless to say, is heavily involved in the occult. As far as angelic humans go, and I know I have a typo here, but it's a PDF. So as far as angelic humans go, it's like you come in spirit. You come with a genetic sort of pre-cog experience to the planet, and of course you begin to forget the minute you get here. What you're all about and what we're about is recovering those memories. So this journey that we're on the planet as humanity is to recover who we are. It's not that I'm telling you anything you don't know. All I'm doing is triggering the memory that you already have and reinforcing it and pulling it all together so that it's more easily understood. There's a lot of people out there who are out on the circuit who like to say, oh, it's too complex, we can't understand it, it's like beyond us. That's, again, programming. It is not beyond you to know why you are here. It is not beyond you to know what's really going on. It's in your DNA, it's in your Akashic records, it's all there, and you are knowers. This is very, very important. So people go around, I know it's very English to say, oh, I'm sorry, or oh, I don't know this, and I don't know that, and really emphasize there's sort of like a self-degradation that goes along with, Bill Ryan was English, so I know this whole mentality. And being an American, I don't quite fall into that, especially coming from California. I came from a very sort of rebellious sort of lineage anyway. But I do understand that you've been taught in school and in religion and across the board to basically be told that you need experts to tell you what you are and that they know more about you than you know. And this is simply not the case, okay? You are knowers. You have within you an access to your higher selves. And each and every one of you brings very special gifts to this planet to contribute to this mass awakening and this mass sort of realization of who we are as this human on a journey back to source. So keep this in mind. Do not deny yourself. I know there's also a huge self-denial here in Britain in terms of the mentality. Okay? In other words, you think service to others involves denial of self. Wrong. You go through self. You use the gifts you were given to serve humanity. That's how you best serve. That's how you best serve your children, is not by deadening your own gifts. So it's a matter of rethinking the way you approach reality. You have a lot of mothers who deny themselves on the part of their children. Maybe they're a wonderful artist or they're a wonderful this or that. They should be exploring that, okay? And I know it's easier said than done. But the bottom line is there are creative ways of approaching reality that have not been yet explored here on planet Earth. This civilization that we're a part of is very rudimentary in its most basic form. It is not what it could be. And you have within you all of these seeds. It's just up to you to start being extremely creative, to be the creators that you truly are, to start changing reality around you. And as we do this, and as we link up through our orgone, in this information field that Pete Peterson has described as what he calls the information field, what David Wilcock in his book Source Field Investigations called the Source Field, he basically got his name more or less from Pete Peterson. But what it is the ether.